talking for a little while now, leading up into the pandemic, but certainly since hotels have been coming out, about how to deal with the staffing challenges in the industry right now. And it's all, even in good times, it's hard to find people to work in hotels. And there's always been this sort of thought, I think, just sort of back here in the back of everyone's mind about like, how are we going to not only just deal with these staffing issues, but when is automation and some of these other telepresence options out there, when are they going to make their way into hotels? And to see it happening in real time somewhere, I mean, you guys really could be paving the way for maybe a tidal wave of this to make its way into hotels, and not necessarily out of a desire to want to go that way, but necessity just because of the lack of resources.
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever we're looking at traditional hotel operations, whether it's that front desk or F&B, we're thinking about how do we leverage technology to provide the same experience, but at a fraction of the price. So we did something similar with F&B, where we put a bar in the lobby. We got a liquor license, but instead of having a bartender, we just put one of those automated wine dispensers, something you might see in a restaurant or an airport lounge. And that was really our answer to kind of creating that same energy, the same atmosphere, but again, without having to pay for a bartender. And that telepresence virtual concierge can actually check your ID to make sure that you're legally allowed to buy that alcohol.
Oh, wow. And then just going a little bit deeper into the building, then when it comes to housekeeping and turning rooms and linen and maintenance and all that, just a quick summary, what does the back of house look like?
Yeah, so unfortunately, no robots yet. Our vision has really been to attract the best talent by paying the most. A happy employee is a productive employee. And we thought that we had to control the guest experience, not just by controlling the building, but having every single employee aligned with the mission of the company, and really to give them individual KPIs. So let's take housekeeping, for instance. We operate very similarly to a traditional hotel, except we're not using any temp agencies. Instead of paying a temp agency $20 an hour, and they in turn pay the housekeeper $10 an hour, we're paying that housekeeper our $15 an hour minimum wage. Mm-hmm. So not only are we saving money, but that housekeeper is simultaneously making more money. The second part is having these individual KPIs where when we have a guest leave a review on Airbnb or Booking.com, there are subscores that relate just to cleanliness. And we're able to accumulate all those subscores and give housekeepers individual feedback and scores and say, hey, you cleaned an average of 4.8 out of 5 last month. And here are the 3 best reviews, and here are three reviews where it showed maybe there's a little bit more room for improvement. And what this does is it gives people upward mobility. So you can start at Sextant as a housekeeper. When you average 4.8 for 6 months, you can become an inspector, then a housekeeping supervisor. And then we've had people even cross over entire departments. So you can go from housekeeping to front desk, and then from front desk to a building manager, and then a city manager. So when you build employees up and everyone is surrounded by these success stories of people who immigrated to the US, where before even coming to Sextant, they made $1 a day. Now they're making $15 an hour. And then to end the year making $70,000, $80,000 as a city manager, it's incredibly powerful. I mean, you see these people buy their first home, buy their first car, send their kid to college. That's what really motivates employees.
Yeah. I had that experience myself in hotels where I was able to bounce around and try different things and work in different departments and sort of work my way initially laterally across, and then start to make my way up the ladder. And I only bring that up because there's so many parallels, again, to what you're talking about, to people's individual experiences in the hotel industry where they've done the same thing. And the difference might be that those individual KPIs that you're talking about maybe aren't as administered so specifically to each individual employee within a hotel.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. A lot of properties or a lot of companies have moved to the NPS rating model, right? Where you're just trying to see if people would recommend you. And there's a lot of science behind, whether or not that equates to a certain level of business success. And they tend to be moving away from those really long form feedback calls from all these, JD Power and all the other rating agencies. But threading, again, I use this term again, we're kind of threading the needle and finding that space where you just get relevant feedback that is going to tell you whether or not the guests are enjoying their time there, but you can also have the discipline and the diligence to pull out relevant information and apply it to how the employee is performing. And then you use that data to reward them for good behavior and in a meaningful way, not just a Starbucks gift card. Then
exactly.
Or, choose your gift card. That's going to create powerful, not just, that's a retention recruitment strategy, but also for when it comes to buy into the culture. Right?
Absolutely. I think the issue is with some of these third-party agencies is there's no recognition. You can do a great job or a terrible job. It doesn't matter. At 4 p.m., you're done for the day. And to your point, the incentives are these small spot bonuses, which we still do, but nothing is more frustrating than having promotions kind of be random. Maybe the housekeeping supervisor just happens to see that you did a great job that day, but you hadn't done a great job the last 3 months. And someone gets promoted ahead of you who maybe shouldn't have. And that's incredibly demoralizing. So it's not just about upward mobility, but it's about transparency, predictability, and fairness. And you need those data-driven decisions to be able to do that.